Tommy Melo, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Arizona, $200 million entrepreneur, pulls up to Kelowna to learn from you. Why?
This place is a work of art.
I've been doing this for so long that I can pinpoint the one belief that if you shift that,
You change the whole paradigm.
what would you say are the top 3 to 5 things you've learned working with me, perspective shifts?
Today, I've got one of my private clients, Tommy, coming in town.
My name's Tommy Melo. I own a company called A1 Garage Storage Service. It's a big company. We're going to do just shy of $300 million this year, about 25% of the bottom line. What I always say is revenues for vanity, profits for sanity.
VIP Half Days is an opportunity for people that want to see how the operation works, and they get to come in and work with me on strategy. I learned through osmosis by just show me. I think sometimes it's like trying to hear somebody's answer versus just show me how you work. And that's what makes the VIPs really special.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey man, I'm Dan.
Hi Dan, nice to meet you. I'm
Hey.
Blake.
Dog, look at you. Oh man, welcome to Kelowna.
I failed a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. One of the things we're really trying to focus on right now is the number one thing I think everybody should do is invest in their personal brand. If I ever get a chance to do R&D, which is rip off and duplicate, I take it. I buy access, and whether I'm reading a book, I'm on a podcast, I'm going to an event, or I'm going to do a site visit, I'm doing this stuff all the time.
We started off the day, went for a workout. Why is it important to work out with people that you work with?
I'm just a fan of net time. Tony Robbins calls it no extra time, which means that if I'm going to work out and I also could spend time getting to know somebody, for me, it's about my mind. So I exhaust the body to tame my mind. All right, the dream team is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can get you coffee, whatever you need, man. You guys let us know. Hey, Dan.
Jim, nice to meet
What's up, Jim? Blake, what's up, man? Welcome, welcome.
Why is it important that people bring their team?
What's funny is, I'd say 50% of the time people come do the VIP half days and it's just the CEO.
Yeah.
And I always say it's a missed opportunity because if you have 2 or 3 other key people on your team, have them be in the energy. You guys can divide and conquer. We can put your creative person with my creative person and your operational person with my operational person. And it's fascinating when that doesn't happen because now you're playing this game of telephone. So you got to go back to the team and say, well, Dan said this. Guaranteed the way you explain it's a little different than the way I explained it to you. All right, and this is the office studio. So this is where I do my one-on-ones, shoot content. So have a seat.
I wanted these guys to come out because we're going to hire 20 people.
Yeah.
And then we're going to hire a sales team on top of that. The
Cool.
content I want to go
Yeah.
massive.
So the two components are you go in the boardroom, do 45-minute sessions, and then you'll actually bring them out for a lunch or a dinner.
Yep.
And that's where you guys connect.
We always start off with the big picture. They have to do an intake form. So when they come, I know everything about their life, personal, professional, I know where they're at. And then we always identify 3 big things they need to take away. And we'll sequence each hour to absolutely crush and over deliver on each one of those things. All right. So what I would say is we got 3 big buckets. We got one is sales. We'll do all things sales. And then we have media. And then we have team. And then at the end, what I do is I pay attention to the language, to the stories they're telling me, to the beliefs they have, and I'll write them down. And when we go for our meal, I'll prompt them around these things. And sometimes people don't want to have those conversations, but I know the stuff we did at the boardroom is not actually the problem. Everything I talked about, I'll get you the elite growth model for the team. So we'll get that, but this will be a takeaway.
We went into the podcast studio after and you guys exchanged a couple stories. What did you notice about Tommy's change in his mindset?
One of the big things that I've noticed just energetically, his defaults now, is that he's learned to really work through people. That's the big idea. Tommy Melo, appreciate you being here, man.
Always. Love it.
Tell the people watching about A1. How long have you been doing it for?
I'm an overnight success of 2 decades.
20 years.
Just shy, it's 18 years.
Was there any close calls where you almost had to shut it down?
So many close calls, but I wouldn't say necessarily shut the doors. I've had to write checks from an equity line back to the company to make payroll. And that's been a decade, but dude, talk about not sleeping and worry. But it's been close, man. Lots of stuff, but I never felt like quitting. The stuff we're working on now is just monumentally changing the way home service is done. And a lot of it is, like I said, AI, machine learning, some of the KPIs, some of the webhooks and stuff we're doing, but really the people, the way we're training.
Yeah.
You know, my biggest challenge right now, and I think this is not going to be one that you just solve, it's an ongoing problem, is I don't want A players just to apply. I want to be able to go find them on command and pull them in.
Yeah.
And my team seems to think we're never going to grow at the rate you wanted and collect all A players. And I'm like, hey, but that's not true. You want Tom Brady, but you also need a second string. But I don't like second string. I only want the A players. I want to play Iron Man. I want them to be so great they can do everything. But A1's a great company. That's my pride and joy. But now I got to tell you, I'm having more fun than I've ever had. You know, my relationships are great, and I'm healthy now, and my body feels great. Yes, and I've got a lot of energy, and my brain there's zero fog. So you add up all those things, and I'm very fortunate. You've helped me look through a different lens on a lot of things. So you talked to me originally of like, dude, what are you thinking? You drive yourself? You don't have to. How much time do you spend driving? And I thought it was so like such a humble guy.
Yeah. It's highbrow.
And you were like, dude, tell me you have a chef. And I'm like, no, I could cook for myself. But I'm like, to be honest, we were doing Uber Eats a lot. And like everything you said, I kind of took a leap of faith, and I'm like, you know what? I'm doing it. And this is more of a statement, but I want to hear your 2 cents on it. And it's kind of like I'm kind of hitting myself because I could have afforded to do this a long time ago. And one of my technicians came to me the other day, and they saw me get out of the Mercedes van. And he goes, dude, we figured out we knew you were successful, but like it just was a different look for you. And it was like they weren't like the rich, snobby owner guy. They were like, it's just really impressive that you're taking care of yourself. Like you really are buying back your time. You're there more. You're there for us more. It was like all around it should have done it a long time ago. And now I tell people, I'm like, are you mowing your lawn? Are you cleaning your house? Like, what can you afford to do?
And trust me, like I was, when we got our house manager, my wife didn't want to tell anybody. So it's just like, I totally understand it. And it's like, even having an assistant initially was like, a long time ago, that was like, I was scared that people would judge me. They're like, oh, you think you're too cool to reply to your email? It's not that. It's just I know there's other people that are actually better at it and they're more available. And I appreciate the support. And I love every person that helps me in any aspect of my life. Like, I'm a big fan of it. I don't think it's less than me. I would do it if I had the time to do it. You should only do one of two things with your time. Spend time with the people you love and care about, or do work that only you can do.
Right.
Anytime you do anything other than those two things, you're working against your goals.
All these little things are experiences. We buy experiences because we want to share them.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those guys that, and I think you are too, that like, I'm not like, there could never be an employee that shows up to our house. I'm like,
some people say that no employee can come to their house.
Yeah, well, they're like, we don't want to show them what we have.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can't know we have this and
That's
that.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm so far the opposite. So I have a supercar collection that I on purpose created a company to create a corporate insurance so that everybody in my company can drive. So I take it to another level.
Yeah.
Because like, guess what? I can only drive one car at a time.
Right.
And you know what's fun? Seeing other cars around you, especially if you own them, and showing up at a recovery center and doing a full parking lot takeover. I think sometimes people that have that fear is because they probably don't give enough of themselves to their community.
And I don't think they give, they got this broke mindset. If people knew how much we were making, they always got to tell their people, we're not making a lot of money. We're not making a lot of money.
Yeah, because they don't create a scenario where their employees can make a lot of money.
Exactly.
And I know you do this well, where it's like, look, there is no cap. Go work.
Yeah.
Like this.
And here's the deal. You want to get a raise? Do me a favor. Sit down and say, how do we both win?
Yeah.
And I think what you do a really good job of is talking people through things. You get people to talk out loud, and you say, well, there you go. Now just go do it.
We've had the privilege of working together now for, has it been 6 months, 8 months?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. It's been a while. I mean, when you came to me, you're like, hey, man, I read your book. Big fan. There's some things I want to change in my life. I'm curious because people are watching. They hear people that coach with me. You're a guy that's done it. What would you say are the top 3 to 5 things that you feel you've learned working with me, perspective shifts?
So I think the first day we sat down, you got me really into this idea of your future self. You're 70, 75 years old. You're looking back. Be very, very, manifest everything. Be as descriptive as possible. Like, make a plan. I've been always big on goal setting, but like not just on money. Now I'm like family, fitness, faith, and finance. So I'm getting more well-rounded. You also got me out of my comfort zone because you changed the whole paradigm. of me thinking I didn't want people to judge me based on my money.
What were you worried about? Talk more about that.
Well, I was a little bit just, I felt like I could do it. And I felt like it might become a bigger nuisance. Like now I got to buy another car, manage a driver, and I got to get a chef. That's a lot. It's a lot to have people around all the time. That's one of the things. And then number two is like, I've come from very, very humble beginnings where, we did have a chef when I was a kid. His name was Chef Boyardee. And, but
so good.
I had dinner alone a lot, because my mom was at work. And so those humble beginnings, maybe I didn't think I was worth it. I don't know. I never really self-examined. And that's another thing you helped with is like this reflection. And I really think about my leadership style and think about the EQ side of things. And then you're able to reframe things in a way. You're like, it's selfish of you to answer a question one-on-one when the whole world of home service could learn from that. You're not sharing with everybody. So therefore, you think you're being a good guy by taking somebody's phone call for 45 minutes. But shouldn't everybody that needs to learn that problem, because 1,000 people have the same question today? And another thing is that I don't know if I want to be the CEO forever. I think it's still my time. You talked a lot about you're not the CEO anymore. You'll never be a CEO again.
No, I don't need a CEO company. The challenge I ran into is I had big aspirations, but I realized my time is limited. Like I want to do a lot, but my constrainer, my bottleneck is my hours in a day. It's like I have 2 kids. I don't want to be an absentee parent.
Yeah.
So I just had to get really disciplined about evaluating and learning to let go.
That's true. There's so many people that are just busy. 168 hours in a week, 50 hours sleeping, 50 hours working, 10 hours working out. You still got 58 hours left. Like, where's the time going? You could take your wife on a date every night, spend an hour with each of your kids. You could literally read your favorite book, watch your favorite show. There's still all this time gets wasted. There's so much time that's wasted. And I think that's why your book is so good, because you tend to fill it back up. You buy it back, you fill it up. But as long as it's more productive and efficient time.
100%, Phil.
So I really appreciate being here.
Dude,
this is
awesome.
Actually really cool.
No,
I'm really impressed by your operation and just all the people you're working with and the way you lead. And even the gym today was freaking awesome, man. And this is a cool town. I'm definitely going to come back.
I appreciate that, man. Always welcome.
Appreciate
Rock and roll.
being here.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so the VIP half day, look, I used to be very cautious about spending money because I got let down a lot. One thing that Dan and his team do is they open the doors. There's really no secrets. They kind of give you the playbooks. They just open it up. They're like, we'll send you that. We'll just give you the scripts. Why reinvent the wheel? I tell people, look, but if you've been fortunate to make money, this place is a work of art. And if you're trying to grow your personal brand, if you're an author, if you're trying to learn more about SaaS and some of the things they offer, you'd be foolish not to come visit.
If you enjoyed what you saw, because I get people messaging me all the time, just find me on Instagram. If you want to learn more about what it looks like, how it is to work with me, just find me on Instagram, message me VIP. I only do a few of those a year, so it's not for everybody. But here's the deal. My favorite part is that Tommy brought his team. And I learned a long time ago is that you could play a game of telephone and try to understand what's going on and then teach people, or you can just bring them in, show them what's going on, and then have them build the business. We invest in the people get better, the people build the business. It's a lot more fun that way. I had a blast. Hope you guys did too. I'll see you in the next one.